I have been given the incredible honor today to be your guide in discovering for yourself the most financially and self-rewarding opportunity on the planet to date. First and foremost, our focus isn't solely based on the incomes our members create, but what is more important is the experience and how they create it. The truth is, we've been where many people are right now, and we empathize with the emotional challenges that come with the pursuit of success. We all face these challenges at some point, and so we feel a certain level of compassion and understanding for others who are on the same path. All in all, we're all rooting for each other to make it in life, aren't we? Everyone wants more out of life. It's just part of being human. We would all like to drive better cars, live in nicer homes, and send our kids to the best schools. Hey, and who wouldn't want to have more time to travel and see the world? Here's the big question. How do you get there? When it comes to business or choosing the right opportunity, most people don't have a clue. So, we thought we'd take a couple of minutes to shed some light on the differences. Businesses today come in as many colors as a gigantic box of crayons. And because men and women want to get rich so badly, they see the qualities in businesses that aren't really there. Saying there is one business model that fits everyone is like sending 50 people to the same school ensures that they will all have the same grades. What a ridiculous concept! First of all, there are two types of businesses. The first is a skill-based business model, and the second is a non-skill-based model. Skill-based businesses can become very valuable assets over time, and usually take 3, 5, or even 10 years of working your butt off to develop and perfect optimal performance in order to really cash in at all the years of work. However, more times than not, the business owner ends up getting burned out and losing any and all passion for it long before they arrive in utopia. And when that happens, they can't get rid of it fast enough. Thousands of companies are for sale right now online as a result of this. Why does business seem to be so difficult? Well, at the turn of the century, Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto came up with the 80-20 rule, which implies that 80% of success is achieved by 20% of the people. Pareto said that it applies to everyone and everything. It even applies to dog racing. 20% of the dogs win 80% of the races. Each and every kind of skill-based business model falls under the 80-20 rule, and most are stuck competing against the 20% who reap 80% of the business. So you have to ask yourself, are you in the 20% or the 80% bracket? Traditional business ranging anywhere from online to offline retail, stock market, real estate, MLM and network marketing, info marketing, internet businesses, and everything in between are all skill-based business models and all follow the 80-20 rule. 20% of the businesses will reap 80% of the business. And simply being good at what you do is not enough. The days of small business have basically come and gone. It seems as though all the mom and pop shops of yesterday are being swallowed up by the huge corporations of today. A Walmart opens up shop in your town, and in just a few short months, most of the small retail businesses are wiped out within a 6-mile radius. Why? Because Sam Walton perfected a system that would give him the purchasing power that enables him to sell retail at wholesale prices. Most small businesses just can't compete with that. Lights out. You can own a hardware store and work until you're blue in the face to build a better mousetrap to get people inside, but when a Home Depot or a Lowe's moves into town, lights out for you too. Conversely, let's say you happen to discover a niche market, something that the world would respond to. Well, it still comes back to you and your abilities, now doesn't it? Well, let's look at that. Harvard's Business Review for January-February 2010 mentions a study about how they were able to predict who would win a business case without even knowing what the case was, solely based on the person's characteristics. So then, there's network marketing and MLM to save the day, who claim to have a systematic way of bringing in the cash without the experience of running a business. And right now, this model seems to be the most popular at the current moment. And because of that, the world's richest billionaires are jumping on the bandwagon right now. Facts would indicate that network marketing and MLM are your safest bets for low-risk capital startup cost. And they are the only models offering that kind of leverage. Based on an MBER.org study, the National Bureau of Economic Research, network marketing has dominated in sales and commission payouts more than any other industry worldwide. This industry is currently growing more than any other time in human history at a rate of 300,000 new people worldwide every week in 2009 alone. It is no doubt the hottest vehicle on the market right now. However, things aren't always as they appear to be, so don't get trumped yet. Most people assume that just because they call their leveraged business model a system of success, that they will finally be able to escape the 80-20 rule. But they don't, and here's why. One of the biggest hurdles for any business is the sales process. And let's face it, nothing happens until a sale is made. Most business owners are doing the sales themselves, but they really can't sell. Or they create the sales copy that outperforms their advertising costs, if they even know where to advertise at all. Sound familiar? Here are some insights that will save you years of disappointment. Here's what truly has been proven to work for the common man. Get involved in a business model that requires the least amount of specialized skills and responsibilities, that is rewarding and fulfilling, and that is profitable far beyond what you desire to make. This brings us to a non-skill-based business model, the franchise. So far, when it comes to business, the only model that sticks out, the only one that doesn't seem to be stuck in this 80-20 rule box, is the franchise. A staggering 300 new franchises are sold every week, ranging anywhere from $20,000 to a couple of $1 million per unit. Based on a U.S. Census study, approximately 97% of franchises succeed, and after 10 years, 85% of franchises are still owned by the same owner. So is this the answer we've all been looking for? Is owning a franchise the best way for an average Joe to make a six-figure income and have the life of freedom we all want so badly? Let's shed some light on what it really takes to win big in the franchising game. First, a franchise doesn't take any real skill to operate. You have a cookie-cutter design that cannot be deviated from, and by following this design, you should meet a certain outcome. Let's review. Simply find any teenager who can do these three things. 1. Take orders. 2. Provide service. 3. Train others to take orders and provide service. Take the best one, make him or her the manager, and you're done. But back up a second. First, you have to acquire the franchise. Big-name franchises will not allow you to borrow money in some cases. You must have a couple $100,000 in cash on hand to even be able to talk to someone. There are a ton of franchises that can cost you upwards of $1 million. You have no leverage whatsoever unless you buy multiple facilities and fork over a ton of money for each one. Then you have the issue of payroll and making sure all the teenagers show up on time. As far as income right now, the average franchise can take a year or more to build. Most people who are making big money with franchises own anywhere from 5 to 10 units, and the real big players own 50 or more. But relax. If you have a few $100,000 lying around, or maybe a couple of million that you might want to go towards pickles and buns, you will be sipping Mai Tais on the beach in about 5 to 10 years. So, for the common person, the franchise game is not the right answer. So what can you do? Some of you reviewing this video right now may be in a position to drop $1 million in a franchise today. And we urge you to hold back from that decision. If anything else, let the money you earn here fund that project at a later date. Assuming you fit our criteria, you could potentially be part of something which is far more extreme than any franchise or even 10 franchises right now. You don't have to wait a year or even a week to build it. This system is so powerful that you don't even have to market this online to get the results you're looking for. What we have created acts and replicates just like a franchise, and that once it is set up and running, you are basically free to do what you want, when you want, without worrying about employees or astronomical startup fees or territories. You are free to roam the world and are usually set up within 48 hours. You could literally hop from one resort to another for the next year or forever without running a single Google ad. We have system users that do this now. You can simply work your business by the pool, and like a franchise, the system will handle everything else. So many income opportunities have capitalized on and justified results due to one's beliefs, and people buy it. Why? Because they have been conditioned their entire lives to believe that they must first be a better person in order to create better results. That's total nonsense, and we'll prove it. We knew that if we could solve this single issue systematically for everyone, then we could change more lives than ever before. Think about it. When you go into a franchise, does it really matter who owns it? Of course not. Most people never know who the owner is, and they don't care to. The system works. Unfortunately, it was not our system technology that solved the human error or the competence issue. It was the income opportunity you are about to see that did it. We've got everything covered on this one. As a matter of fact, the opportunity we are about to show spread internationally to 5 of the 7 continents in the world on its own merit, before the system you're currently moving through was actually finished and in use. When it comes to business system automation and duplication, we've probably forgotten more than most will ever know. We've been creating sales automation systems since 2001. And back in 2003, we created the very first self-replicating sales system of its kind, positioning us as the 3,000th most visited website in the entire world. We had over 5,000 independent product resellers who sold an estimated $100 million worth of product in just 3 years. Our revolutionary philosophy behind these systems clearly proved over and over again that there could be an exact duplication of results among people from all walks of life, regardless of intelligence, skills, knowledge, or recourses. Our systems proved to be overwhelmingly successful for the masses and not just the experienced few. Today, our systems' capabilities have evolved into precise works of mechanically mastered automated art, carefully and strategically engineered based on real data, real science, and real people. Every single time, simplicity outperformed overcomplicated bells and whistles and even one's personal skills. We cannot be compared to another system because of what we have been able to overcome and achieve over the years. One of the biggest challenges for any business is the sales process. And let's face it, nothing happens until a sale is made. We certainly raised the bar in the entire industry when we introduced, which is still true to this day, the first and only 100% person-free sales process of high-ticket products. There's no going backwards once you cross that line into automated bliss. No one, even if they can sell, ever wants to go back. After the automobile was invented, the horse and buggy slowly faded away. This is what happened when our systems eliminated the hang-ups that most opportunists stumble on. No more having to prospect, make sales calls, or try to convince anyone to do anything ever again. When you have something that is far superior to everything else in comparison, then a salesperson is not required at all. People know quality when they see it. And everyone wants the best, or at least to be part of the best. Chevys are sold, and Ferraris are not. A new Ferrari is on back order for at least 2 years. Quality prevails over everything else. And sure, info products and many other products sell online without a salesperson, but it can't be replicated because most of the time the product is being sold as a result of the person who is selling it rather than the effectiveness of the ad itself, which is not duplicatable. There are systems that claim to have no sales calls but use phone rooms in order to make it happen. That could never keep up with supply and demand unless their demand is low. The numbers are the facts. John Adams, the second president of the United States, once said, "Facts are stubborn things." We agree. So let's go over a few of them. We have been blazing the trail of sales automation for over a decade with a track record in the hundreds of millions of dollars. We created the first fully automated sales system in our industry, and to date, no one has been able to replicate it. And the final piece of the puzzle is what you will witness here today. This last piece is so crucial you cannot afford to overlook it. This missing ingredient is nowhere to be found other than right here, right now. One of the most important discoveries, the final element in business duplication, is to have the ability to connect internally with the vast majority of human beings on the planet. What we are offering you today in the form of an income opportunity, with better replicating power than a franchise, sets the bar at an unreachable new height, not just for our industry, but for the entire world. It's when we have something that gives us a sense of purpose in life, when we're inspired, that we feel alive and the most enthusiastic. I promise you that when you finally find a way to make money doing something you feel good about, the struggle with making money comes to an absolute end. Can you become passionate about something just because you are excited about making money? Yes, you can. But people who are in it just for the money rarely ever succeed because when they come for the money, it's the same reason they leave. This has been proven time and time again. We thought it would be helpful that you were very clear that a business and an opportunity are not the same. A business is something you work at to make some money. An opportunity is something you work at that creates a life, a legacy. Big difference. History has continued to show us how mass movements of people can be directly connected to the sudden manifestation of a great brand, idea, concept, cause, leader, or opportunity, and how the transfer of wealth immediately follows. Opportunity is simply being in the right place at the right time and having the ability to recognize it when you see it. Bill Gates saw huge opportunity when many didn't in what he believed was going to be the next global consumer trend. If it wasn't for this opportunity, Gates would probably just be a millionaire and possibly a billionaire at best. But he never would have ended up as one of the richest men in the world. YouTube was started by a couple of kids who weren't even thinking about money. They had a vision. That vision later sold for $4 billion. Do you really think education, skills, talent, self-development, or business background had anything to do with that? What makes them so smart? They're not. It was the opportunity of timing that made them who they are. Maybe you yourself someday could be in the right place at the right time. Maybe that someday is today. Who knows? We'll just have to see if you get in or not. That is why this isn't just another crayon in a crayon box of businesses, but an opportunity of a lifetime. This is an opportunity that is going to provide happiness, fun, joy, and passion in your life, along with your own personal legacy. Each human being on the planet separately craves these things more than anything, even money, to have a purpose for our lives. Capitalize on being one of the first in what will soon be a worldwide movement involving millions of people from all across the globe. This is an opportunity and a movement so profound that, knowingly or unknowingly, people are compelled to talk about it and to share it with others. A real perfected system matched with opportunity worthy of it, an opportunity of a lifetime. When you experience a good system for the first time, you feel a relief and pressure. It's like you've been drowning your entire life. Then you finally come up for air and realize for the first time that you were never even underwater. Below this video, you will find important facts that you should consider. You now have the understanding necessary to cultivate the vision required to see the most important opportunity this world has ever seen. This is the one you've always dreamed of, prayed for, meditated on, or simply thought. There has to be a better way. What you are about to see has the power to change lives all over the planet, including yours. Most people, when presented with this information, feel that their whole life was leading them up to this point, and now it all begins. And unlike a franchise, you can't buy that for $1 million. We wish you luck.